What I'm saying, though, is that Ted is really the most honest guy in the race, and I think that's eventually going to become very clear. And I think people will come around. Ted should do extremely well in Texas. Why? Because they know him in Texas, and they know the kind of lies that have been told about him lying.
Representative Gohmert,
anyway, it's going to get interesting from here.
All right, that's our good friend, even a fill-in on this radio program, Louie Gohmert of Texas. And for whatever reason, I would assume the establishment wants to take Louie Gohmert out of his seat. He is a strong voice for conservative values. And when is this? I guess you got two Republicans are now challenging you. You're in your 12th year as a congressman from East Texas, and you got a primary challenge. When is that coming up?
Well, early voting is going on, and now today's the last day for early voting, and our election is Tuesday when we have the presidential primary. But it was really not a big surprise. Those of us that led the charge, and nobody more than me, wanting to get a new speaker, as you know, we've talked about it many times on the air. But we were let know that we should expect an opponent. And, you know, it's been amazing. Tim Huelskamp, me, Scott Garrett, a number of people that just stand up guys say, look, we just need somebody that's going to be truthful as speaker. We've got self-funders, you know, so the establishment doesn't even have to worry about getting the money. But, boy, I tell you, Sean, it was a real lesson to me. You know, I've represented a big majority of my district's views on most everything, and I wasn't really worried about keeping $1 million bank account. And what I've learned is if you don't have a substantial amount in your campaign account, that encourage self-funders to jump in because they can put more in. So I'm at a place I'm learning my lesson, but I've got to be raising money to discourage these kind of establishment self-funders.
All right, so there's voting going on now. When is the primary vote again?
It's on Tuesday, March the 1st,
Yeah.
and
Well,
people can go to my site. I'm going to sound like Ted Cruz now. Go to Gohmert.com, Gohmert.com, Gohmert.com. And, you know, last time I was substituting for you, and nobody can fill your shoes, but as I said on the air, I can't fill his shoes, but I'm filling his seat today. But I would not have even mentioned my website if Lauren hadn't held up a piece of paper at the end of the third hour. Oh, yeah, and by the way, my website, because I hadn't even mentioned it the whole 3 hours. So I'm going to be doing better about, look, I need help. Everybody that's conservative needs help, but we got to stand together.
You know, it really frustrates me how poorly you have been been treated. Now, a couple of years before Boehner, you know, was kind of pushed out, I had called on this program. I thought it was time for him to go. And you know what? You were one of the few people that had my back at that moment. And, you know, talking to you and others, you told the story about how poorly Boehner treated you. Tell that story again. And the reason I say this is because all you're asking is that Republicans keep their promises. And that's what's frustrating to me. You're one of the few guys there that says, use the power of the purse. We have the constitutional authority, the power of the purse, use it. You know, you're one of the few guys that stands on, you know, tries to accomplish what you promise you're going to accomplish.
But you nailed it, Sean. All we've been advocating is, look, we just want leaders that will help us keep our promises instead of constantly manipulating. I mean, it's really Machiavellian. Oh, this is the way we're going to do, and then at the end, oh, sorry guys, this is the best we can do. It was just really Machiavellian. People being led away from keeping their promises. We just wanted somebody who would keep their promises. And yes, his affectionate term for me when nobody else was around was, and I'll paraphrase, but hello, excrement head. But anyway, it was amazing, but a lot of people around here weren't bothered by that kind of comments and that kind of treatment. But you nailed it. The bottom line, we just wanted leaders who would help us keep our promise, and we weren't getting that. And so, and I can also tell you that nothing and nobody is more frustrated than when you're in a fight in Congress, like against amnesty or anything else, and you got people in the trench with you. If you lose somebody in the trench that goes over to the other side, I mean, that's devastating. So, we've stuck together. We've been fighting, and now a lot of those of us that were in the trenches fighting for a speaker that would help us keep our promise instead of force us to break them, we're paying a price now. But that also meant, I had a Codell I was leading back a few years ago, and I was going to lead to Jerusalem, and we had a conference with Netanyahu and another number of leaders, and we're going to go over and meet with our friend in Jordan, the King Abdullah, just a great friend of wants to be a great friend. This administration doesn't really help him. But anyway, it was a great Codell. It was going to be good for America. It was going to help shore up relations that Obama had strained. But because I had opposed Boehner on a debt ceiling bill, his chief called mine and said, tell your congressman that the speaker has canceled that trip for the congressman and those going with him. I mean, it was a bipartisan trip. It was going to be great for shoring up relations, but that was the kind of stuff that went on constantly. And no, I knew I would never be a committee chairman. And I tell you, Rob Bishop from Utah was really incredibly brave when he made me the chairman of the Oversight Committee for Natural Resources against the Speaker's will. So I'll always be grateful for Rob for his courage.
Yeah. Well, Congressman, you have been a stalwart. You have been a fighter. You have put it all on the line, and you're one of the few guys that are not a problem in D.C., and I wish I lived in East Texas so I could pull the lever for you.
But, Sean, I keep telling you, we can remedy that for future elections.
How's that? Oh, you're going to move me down to your... Well, I can't. I'm under contract. Listen,
I know.
The governor of my state...
I know. You and I have talked about it. And
I am. Do you understand? I am like a political orphan. There's nobody in New York, nobody that will even take my calls here anymore. Not even Peter King. He's gone off the deep end. And I used to get along great with Peter. I don't know what's happened to him. And but I have nobody to call. Nobody. I am a political orphan, and the governor of New York wants me to leave. Wants me out. I'm not a New Yorker in his minds because I'm pro-Second Amendment, pro-life, and I believe in a traditional definition of marriage.
I'm telling you.
There's no place for me, he said.
Texas, too. you are beloved in East Texas. And so, anyway, I know you're under contract for a number of years, but what you remember, you came to my hometown of Tyler sometime back, and people packed the Oil Palace. They just loved you. I hope you felt the love when you were in Tyler. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Louie, we wish you the best. We think the world of you, and we really appreciate you being with us. 800-941-SEAN. That takes place Tuesday. Wow. I think that you got establishment people that are throwing money at him to try and get him out of office because, he's a conservative and he actually says things that he believes and sticks up for him.